Welcome, everyone. My name is Nick Hershey. I'm the president of the Mortgage Calculator. We are a non-delegated correspondent lender that operates quite a bit differently here. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today so we can explain a little bit more about how we work. And once I go through a little bit of an overview, we'll have Kyle show the back end and some of the software and systems that we have. And then we'll close it off with Jose Gonzalez, our sales manager, who will bring it all together into closing loans. So let's go ahead and start here by looking at the join page. Most of you have probably joined here from this page, but let's talk a little bit more about what we mean. So we come from a little bit of a different background. We are not your traditional bankers. We have been building lead generation systems for the last 20 years. So we come from a little bit of a different angle, coming from more of the ad agency type of world. So we are all about leads, unlimited free leads, and we are powering it all through our software, which is CRM, POS, LOS, all built in together. And we obviously have the AI integrated into all the different steps that we can, just like any other good cutting edge company out there. So we come from a different type of background where we want to build a system in order to let you guys, the loan officers, scale up your business instantly. So here in the next section, we're talking about our technology is really to allow you to plug and play and build your business instantly. So whether that's plugging into our leads, our company leads, or generating your own leads from what you're already doing, you can plug and play into our system and fill up your pipeline, which is super important now, especially as the traditional referral sources have dried up for most loan officers out there. So we want to make sure our loan officers always have some leads and clients to work on, and every effort that they're doing scales up from there. So how does that really work? First, let's talk about our business model. So as I mentioned, we are non-delegated correspondent. We have built this business and this system, this lead generation system, and all the different models that exist. We started at an FDIC bank, took that to a broker model, and then non-delegated and delegated. And we found that non-delegated is the best of everything because with our 120 lenders and investors, we can do both broker and correspondent loans. What's most important to us is what's best for our borrowers. So we have over 5,000 loan programs where we're the lender. We fund it with our own money, with our 34 correspondent investors. And that's always typically going to be the best rates and prices because correspondents always beat broker pricing because we're funding loans with our own money, our own law firms, taking all that risk from that. So typically the same investors will have better rates for correspondent for the same exact program and rate sheets. So we're always going to offer that to our clients, those savings. Now, if there's any reason where there's a specialty product or a loan type or something we can't fund in our name or with our own money, that's not a problem. We're going to do what's best for the client. So we have over 110 wholesale lenders where we may not fund it in our name, but we want to make sure we find what's best for the client. So between all of that, we have every loan program imaginable, from VA, USDA, FHA, Fannie, Freddie, non-QM, DSCR, all of that in-house we can fund with our own money. Typically the stuff that falls outside of that, true commercial, mixed use, CDFI, SBA, fix and flip, ground up construction, all the stuff that gets a little more creative are the types of deals that we typically do with a wholesale partner. So no matter what comes in, we want to make sure we have that program, and we want to make sure we're able to offer that customer the best pricing on that program, whether that's us funding the loans with our own money or working with a partner that may have a better deal for some reason or another. Now, to top it all off, as I mentioned, we have AI built into every step here. So as part of this, we have our Calvin AI loan officer assistant that's going to give you tips and tricks throughout the process. Can't really show you all that here. Kyle will show you a couple ways, but just know that he's always there to help pushing you towards the goal. Now, how do we execute all of this? It's all about technology. So myself and Kyle, we come from more of a technology background. We've built every line of code for what you're about to see. And really what that is our instant lead generating website where you can plug in with our AI built in, as I mentioned, POS, CRM, LOS, all that is built for us, by us. What that means for you and your customers, one login for you, one login for your customer. No matter which of our hundreds of different outlets we use or what type of loan we're going to do, we're always going to have one point of contact in one place where our customers go and where we go to get all the information. So that means our customers can go from just basic name, email, phone number on any of our different ways we generate leads, which Kyle will show you, to pulling their own live rates, completing their own 1003, pulling their own credit, and importing all their liabilities all into our Encompass-based platform. But you don't have to use Encompass. That's obviously just the basis for this So basically the customers and you can get instant rate quotes from over 5,000 loan programs and automatically get requoted every time the rates change and whatnot. So we're able to track the customers not only through their application, but also their pricing and their quotes process as well. And we do all that with our API integration. So as I mentioned, we have Encompass, but you don't have to log into Encompass. Everything's powered by Encompass. You don't ever have to log in. Anything you edit in the CRM is going to just edit the Encompass file. Same thing with Optimal Blue for pricing. Typically, a lot of people understand what that is, but you don't need an Optimal Blue login. You just click the button there to get the pricing. Same thing with credit, account check, appraisal works, 5 AMCs at the click of a button. No logins needed for all 5 AMCs. Everything we have there is built in at the click of a button. We also have instant custom business cards and flyers. The minute you get onboarded, you'll instantly have your website. You'll instantly have business cards and flyers with your picture on them to start generating more business. You can also capture people visiting your website with no form required. It's a really cool thing we have for website capture. So maybe a family member is browsing and maybe they're in the market. You don't know they are. Even if they don't fill out a form, you can see that someone was browsing your website. And if it's someone in your sphere, you'll know that they're ready to make a move. We also have our automated social media posting. So again, plug and play. Once you get your website up, you'll connect your social media, your Facebook, and then automatically we'll post with your link to generate leads for you instantly and automatically. And we have our Calvin built into the technology for our dual Oz. So not only do we have him helping give you tips and tricks, but there's actually a dual Oz button. Kyle will show you what that looks like, where we can run Fannie and Freddie side by side and then have Calvin, our AI, analyze both side by side to give you a breakdown of what might be best for the customer. We also have our full-time development staff. So if you have any new feature requests, you can request them. We do new updates weekly on different features. So definitely a cool thing if you have some tips for the team. And this section here is about training and all the different models we've built. We found that training was lacking, especially from coming from a bank to all the different models. Everything needed to be supported in a remote-based environment. So we're all 100% remote. So we want to make sure all of our trainings and all of our systems are able to be accessed by you guys 24/7, 365. So our remote learning center is a classroom-style learning center where you can go and take your courses, pass your courses 24/7, 365. And you can also plug in every day of the week. We have different trainings. So during the weekdays, we do every morning our live mortgage rates podcast training where we go through different topics as well. We do our sales training 5 days per week as well, different tips and tricks to generate more business for you guys. And our in-depth loan officer training 2 days per week, we do as a podcast as well on in-depth loan process types of trainings. We also are fully remote, so we have our office, but it's our Zoom office. So our Zoom support is open during regular business hours. Pop in there, talk to a processor. They'll take over your screen, help you click what you need to click. Again, we're all remote based, but you still get face-to-face time, just like an office. We also have our knowledge center with thousands of articles, not just from us, but all of our partners with hundreds of lenders, investors. They'll have tips, tricks, matrices, webinars, guidelines, thousands of articles. Search anything at the click of a button. And the AI is built in for compliance here. Calvin has an AI mode for compliance to search all the federal regulations and state regulations for the states we're licensed in. So you don't have to wait for compliance. You can always get a quick answer there from Calvin to point you in the right direction. And the final category here, just some things that set us apart, not necessarily in the general categories there. First thing I'm very passionate about here, we love to work with investors. So we can do our DSCR business purpose loans in 44 total states without necessarily having to be licensed, which is very cool in order to expand your footprint without necessarily having to get a bunch more licenses. We have tons of different ways leads come in. We want to make it very simple and straightforward. It's a 50-50 split, no matter what way the lead comes in. If it's a company lead, simple 50-50 split. We automate your lead generation at scale, as I mentioned, so you can plug and play into our system to post on your socials. You can also plug and play into our lead support, so you can set up your own lead campaigns to purchase leads. Kyle will show you how that works. Or if you already have leads, you can import those in with our webhook into any system. Kyle will show you a little bit about that as well. Now, anybody on our team can always refer deals to their team members for 75 basis points. So if you're maybe it's your spouse loan, maybe you're uncomfortable with the loan type, maybe it's your first fix and flip loan, you click the button, refer that deal to someone who knows what they're doing and has the license in that state. Maybe you don't have the license, and you can still earn 75 basis points while you're learning a new product or doing a loan in a state you may not have license in, but you want to cover your clients there. We also have instant payroll available. Obviously, when we're a lender, the payroll is a little bit delayed, but for those of you used to instant payroll, we have that option in the system. You can just click a button there. And no monthly fees. We're very passionate about no tech fees, no desk fees. We've built every line of code for what you're about to see so that we don't have to pass any fees on to you guys. We've built everything ourselves. And something very cool we do yearly, since we're obviously remote based, we still want to see you guys all face to face in person as well. And that's at our annual VIP retreat in Miami here, where we'll pay for your hotel room and yacht party and all kinds of cool stuff here once a year to make sure we meet everybody face to face. And if you guys drop off, we're recording this so you can watch a replay here. But let's get into the compensation plans, which is probably what most of you want to go over. Now, we're always improving these and giving back more to you guys as loan officers. So these are set up, and the difference between the plans is for you to test. As we mentioned, we have the training center and testing. So to upgrade into the different plans, it's just courses and tests. So that's the difference between here. But let's explain how they look here. So first off, we'll start on the left. Senior loan officer is obviously everybody's goal here. 225 basis points base commission. And that's on conventional non-QM, the stuff you're used to. There's different splits for commercial and whatnot, but this is what we're most used to here. And if we're doing a company lead, it's a 50-50 split. So 112.5 basis points on company leads for conventional non-QM, the stuff we're used to. That's 1.125% for those not familiar. Now, obviously, our senior loan officers are going to take all the tests, take all the courses, take all the training, and they're going to get all of the best stuff here. So they're going to receive those referrals, which are better than leads, right? A referral from your teammate. It not only comes with a client, hopefully their spouse or their client that they're working with, that's ready, willing, and able, but also a teammate. Another loan officer is going to help you work with their spouse, family member, client, whatever it is. Also, all of our seniors are going to have access to everything, all of our different lead splits at a 50-50 split. And they'll be able to get eligible for our monthly bonus. So 25 basis points additional bonus for any volume over 2 million for those of you rocking and rolling. Again, we want to give as much back to you as we can for plugging into our system. And for those of you that like to teach and take it to the next level, you can upgrade to a team leader and earn 25 basis points additional on your team's files to help them structure and disclose their deals. Now, how do you become a senior loan officer? You take the tests, and we want to make sure our senior loan officers know how to close loans. So we have here the fine print 6 closed loans in the last 12 months. Doesn't have to be with us necessarily, but you have to know how to close loans, take the test, learn how to disclose, all that kind of good stuff. Now, for anybody that joins, the loan officer comp is where we start here as you go through the different testing and the courses and learn the process of doing broker and correspondent loans at the same time, which is definitely different. So 150 basis points base, that's on conventional non-QM. And if you take a company lead when you're in this plan, 50-50 split is 75 basis points for any company leads. That's 0.75% commission. Now you'll still have access to do non-delegated and brokered, as we mentioned, with our 130 plus partners total. We will give everybody their free lead generating website instantly. CRM, POS, LOS, all of that is instant, one click, you get activated. We mentioned we have the AI built in at every step. His name is Calvin, so you'll get emails and prompts and be able to chat with Calvin anytime to give you some assistance. Unlimited leads at 50-50 split. Kyle will show you all the different ways those come in, but just remember, it's very simple, 50-50 split. And you can refer deals to your teammates, your senior LOs that maybe know more about that program or maybe have the license in a state you don't have, and you'll still earn those 75 basis points we mentioned. And we are licensed in 23 states for primary and second homes, and that means you can originate in 21 additional for our DSCR business purpose. So that's the layout there. As soon as you're ready to upgrade, you'll take the test, take the quiz, and be able to upload your assignments to show that you can disclose loans properly and compliantly, and you'll be upgraded to a senior loan officer. So we want to make it nice and easy. We have all the structure there in the course system to make it so you guys can do that anytime you're ready to upgrade. So that's how the plans break down. So let's go ahead and pass it over to Kyle, who can show a little bit more of the software behind the scenes. So you ready, Kyle?
Yes, I am. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. So when you come on board, obviously we have plenty of trainings on this, but just want to highlight a few things here about our CRM. So here's the CRM on the back end. You can take your notes and send your emails and texts, and they all stack up right here to see them. You can have our AI assistant, Calvin, actually craft your texts and emails for you with one click. Of course, you can set your reminder tasks. You can put people on action plans, automated drip campaigns where they're receiving emails and texts from you automatically, all that kind of good stuff that any other CRM has, right? But what really starts to set our system apart is our quoting system. So you'll see here with just a few pieces of info, we can send a client within 2 minutes a quote with all of the pricing. So we can click one button here and pull up all of our pricing from our different investors through Optimal Blue. In a couple of minutes, we send the client a nice, pretty quote that looks like this, where they have their rate choices. They can scroll over these things and see what they mean. It's going to pull in the Google map automatically of the property, the Zestimate automatically of the property, the proposed loan info here automatically does the breakdown of the taxes and insurance and all that, estimated lender fees, and then of course has you here as the loan originator. And also you can add your realtor partners to this. So your realtor partners, they absolutely love this because they know when they send you a client, not only can you quote them within minutes, but you're going to include the realtor on the quote, and you're putting the realtor in front of their client's face saying, hey, we are your team that's pushing this deal across the finish line. Your realtor partners are not going to want to send a client to anyone else when you're including them on these quotes, keeping them in front of their clients and showing that it's teamwork there. So the coolest part, even cooler than that, is that your clients can just click Start My Loan Application. Now, what that does is take them right to their borrower portal right here, where they can start their application. The full 1003 is in here. They don't have to leave the page. It's going to ask them for the basic documents we're going to need. They can see their loan info here. They can see the milestone of where their loan is at, which automatically updates as you go through the milestones, right? And they can communicate with you through here as well. Now, let me show you what it looks like on your end once they've started their application. So in this example here, this application is 100% filled out, right? So this is a test application that someone has submitted to 100%. Now, you can see their application here on the back end. You can edit it. You can help them upload documents. You can request documents. Let's say you need business tax returns. You can request that, and now it's going to ask that from the client, right? Whether it's you or your processor doing this, you could say, you know what, it came in as a conventional loan, but it's actually going to be a VA self-employed loan. Well, I don't know what documents I need for a VA self-employed loan, but the system does. So I could click replace documents with VA self-employed, save the changes, and now it's just going to be asking the client what we need for a VA self-employed loan. You can also request signatures. Our e-sign is built in. They don't have to leave their borrower portal. If you request a signature, it's going to pop up and they can sign it right there without leaving the page. And of course, you can request custom documents and all that kind of good stuff. Now, once a borrower submits their full application, it prompts them for permission to pull credit, and we pull credit instantly and automatically. We pay for it up front, doesn't charge the client. So as soon as they submit their application, we pull the credit. So now what happens is when you open our Encompass module here, what you'll see is that the entire 1003 is already in here. And not only that, but we've pulled the credit. So the credit is already in here. The liabilities are already in here imported. So everything is in our system. And like Nick said, we don't have to actually use Encompass. We can do it here in our system through the API, right? So as soon as somebody comes in, submits their application, we pull the credit, and now it's all here in your Encompass. And then as Nick said, just to point out here, our dual Oz, you can click one button here and run automated underwriting for Fannie and Freddie at the same time. And then our Calvin AI is going to analyze it and tell you which one is going to be better for your client in this scenario and why, right? So now, you also have the ability through this process to use our Calvin AI Assist here, where with one click, you can request title, file COCs, order VOAs, VOI, all kinds of cool stuff here through our Calvin AI Assist, whether it's you or your processor using that. Now, once you're originating the loan and it actually goes into underwriting, it's going to stay all in this system during that step as well. So if we scroll down here, the same portal that you're at, this is where your underwriter conditions are going to come in. So you're going to get an email that day saying, here are your conditions. And when you jump into your portal here, you'll be able to see the conditions. You'll be able to, upload a document to fulfill them, or you could dispute the condition to kick it back to the underwriter and tell them why you're disputing it. So you see everything happens here all the way through the process, even all of your underwriting conditions. So this is how we take somebody from being just a name, email, phone number to calling them in the CRM, quoting them in the CRM, gathering their application, their credit, their documents, and then originating the actual loan in our CRM, and then even fulfilling all the underwriter conditions and everything. So everything stays in the system from start to finish, right? So now let's talk about where these leads actually come from in the first place, right? So we know how the system works. Now let's talk about how the leads come in. So just real quick here, just to show you, this is just a snapshot of like 1 hour of my test account getting leads coming in here. The first and foremost way that we give you leads is through our ad campaign. So notice here, this is my test account just getting text messages all day. Here is a national business purpose lead. Here's a refinance lead, 4 national leads, fix and flip leads. So all kinds of leads coming in here all day. So that's the first and foremost way that we provide you with leads here from our active campaigns. Those are hot, fresh leads. The moment somebody clicks on our ad, they double opt in to be contacted. That's sent to your phone via text instantly so that you can call them right away. Another way that we provide you leads here is to use our auto dialer. So our auto dialer here, just like any other auto dialer, you can call 300, 400, 500 people in a day. You can press one button to drop an automated text and email to them from you. If they don't answer, it comes from your email, text from you, right? So you can call hundreds of people in a day, and we fill it up with leads for you. So notice here, we have a bunch of 4 nationals. We have all kinds of bank statement purchase, DSCR leads. We have cold call lists in here if the other type of leads run out. We have realtor lists in here that you can call to build relationships with realtors. So all of these leads are in here just waiting for you whenever you want to come in and make calls. Now, another way that you can work leads in our system is that you can run your own campaigns. So what this means is we can take our ad campaigns that we've perfected. That's what we're good at. That's the world we come from, right? Is digital marketing and lead generation. So we know how to do these ad campaigns. We know that our leads work because that's what we close. So we know that they close. And what we can do is copy our campaign and put your budget on it. So all we do is copy our campaign. You tell us what kind of leads you want, right? You want DSCR or bank statement or conventional, whatever it is. And we put your budget on it, and those leads go directly to you, and there's no lead split on them, right? So we're going to give you leads for no upfront cost all day with a lead split, right? But you can get even more leads and not have to pay a lead split on them by filling your pipeline with one of your own campaigns. It's not required to do. You're going to get leads from us regardless, but this is what the more serious people do to fill their pipeline more and to get some of those closings that don't have the 50-50 split on the back end because you paid for the lead as opposed to us paying for the lead. Now, another way to work leads in our system here is that you can import leads from elsewhere. So this little import leads tab here, we give you your custom webhook so that if you're already purchasing leads from another legitimate source, let's say it's Zillow or Free Rate Update or Lending Tree, whatever it is, you can bring those leads in our system in real time. So you use this webhook, and as soon as a lead comes in from, Free Rate Update, it automatically pops into your CRM. Our system sends you an email saying, hey, you have a new lead. That way you can call them and quote them and all that kind of stuff, just like any other lead that we give you, but you're bringing them in from wherever you're purchasing them. So whether they're the leads we're giving you through our ad campaigns or leads that are in our auto dialer or leads that you purchase your own campaign for through us or leads that you purchase through any other legitimate third-party lead source, whatever way there is to receive and work leads, we have that built here into our system. that is what we do. And so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Jose here, our veteran with 28 years of experience as both a loan officer and a realtor, to talk about how this all comes together to actually close loans. And then after that, we'll open it up to questions. So go ahead, Jose.
Awesome, man. I always love hearing about the tech and the leads, right? Always invigorating, especially coming from a guy like me that before we started on our project here at the Mortgage Calculator, I really wasn't a leads guy, didn't have much experience working the leads. So, like they say, even a caveman can do it. Well, I'm a prime example, I guess, of that. I'm 1 foot in both worlds, right? In the pre-tech world when we used to do the manual applications, and then in this amazing tech that we have, where everything just starts with a click from the customer. They do everything for me. I don't have to be doing it, right? I just have to manage it, accept the application, and run with it. And so, I just wanted to highlight some of the processes here, because obviously the leads program is great and the technology is amazing. And then we combine that with support at the Mortgage Calculator. Plenty of support, right? All the training, all the tech support, the in-house processor sitting in the Zoom room, your team leader. As soon as a customer submits that application, right, you don't have to get on the phone and do any of this work, right? But you do have to get on the phone with them before they submit the application. You have to vet them, make sure everything's good with what they're trying to do, structure the deal, send them viable quote options for what they're trying to do, and then they just click on that button, start my loan application, to start submitting the application based on the relevant and viable quote that you sent them. Right? That it all boils down to that. You send them relevant quotes and they start on a relevant loan. You get the email as soon as they submit that application. Your team leader gets the email, management gets the email, and I'll tell you right away, everybody's replying to that email, letting you know, hey, you got a loan, and we break it down for you, credit, income, assets, property, letting you know right away what you're dealing with, in preparation for your meeting with your team leader, right? Because within 24 hours, your team leaders and you are required to meet to go over the structure on any new loan application. That's part of the mentorship that we provide. And we're not just going to go over the loan application. We're obviously going to remind you on the processes that you need to follow to get this loan application process quickly and ready to disclose, right? Because that's the whole idea, right? In order to close the deal, you first have to disclose the deal. And that's what your team leaders are here for. You're going to meet with them for the structure. You're going to go back to work, set up your deal. If you need to meet with your team leader again before you're ready to disclose that file, they're just a click away to book a meeting on their Calendly. So you can meet with them via Zoom. We do all that, face-to-face meetings via Zoom. And then when your file is complete, definitely before the trigger date, right? Before the expiration date of that file is triggered, you will meet with your team leader to get that file disclosed. If it's a non-delegated file where we're the lender, right? We disclose all of those in-house right away. If the file is ready, your file will be disclosed at the end of your meeting. If it's a brokered file, right? We're not the lender. You will still meet with your team leader, review the structure of the file. Once your team leader gives you the green light, you then go to the lender's portal, since in this case, it's a wholesale transaction, right? We're the broker, and you will upload it there to get it disclosed by the lender for that brokered file. On those brokered files, you do have the option to use third-party processing if you want to, or you can process it yourself if you think you're able to. On all of our non-delegated correspondent files where we are the lender, we have in-house processing, right? So as soon as your file is disclosed, goes to intake processor registers it, submits the file, assigns it to a processor who will work with you on the conditions of the file, and then we'll also, they're the ones that are going to be working the portals. So you don't have to worry about getting logins to 15 or 20 portals. We probably have more than that actually. Your processor will do that for you. We want to make sure that you are out there able to, deal with your customers, right? You're going to be the face dealing with the customer. Processor is going to be dealing with the loan conditions, but you will both work together to obtain the documents necessary, and then you upload them to the CRM, and the processor will resubmit back to underwriting, and then a closing department, once you get the clear to close, takes over and will close the file. So plenty of assistance, because one of the things we like to do, again, is make sure that you don't, lose traction, especially in the beginning. As an example, we had one of our newer loan officers. She was definitely new to non-QM, right? But she was in the biz, but she came to the mortgage calculator because she loved the fact that we were going to give her a bigger lending footprint, right? She was not going to be bound only by agency loans and only by wherever she's licensed, but a wide footprint of potentially being able to lend in 44 states, right? And non-QM and the 5,000 products that we have. So lo and behold, she gets this lead, amazing lead, right? But it was, this lead had been denied at another lender by another loan officer, nothing to do with the mortgage calculator, because they tried to force the square peg into the round hole, right? This borrower got denied for full doc. So she meets with me. We review what she had. She was still playing with the tax returns, trying to see how she could make that work. And she was thinking maybe bank statements. So before the meeting, I had told her to please get the 12 months bank statements and let's review them, right? So she showed up to the meeting with the 12-month bank statements, but it really wasn't going to work as a bank statement loan, because the borrower had like 5 deposits in the whole year. Each deposit was like $250,000, and no real way to document those deposits being related to business activity. He was not able to provide any documentation that would satisfy an underwriter to prove that was business related income. But do not fret, that's what the profit and loss loan is for. So I basically helped her structure it as a P&L loan, gave her the roadmap of what she needed to do, right? She needed to reach out to her customer, get him involved because of what we needed for the P&L. It wasn't too difficult, but it's certain items that we cannot do without, like the P&L from the accountant, the business narrative letter from the accountant. Those were essential. So she went on that mission, got the borrower's cooperation, who also was requesting an appraisal transfer. So this was like, doubly difficult here. P&L deal and get an appraisal transfer. But the good news is, with our support, she did meet with me, like, I think 3 times during the process of that deal. We were able to walk her through the transaction, walk her through the appraisal transfer, and in a little bit over 3 weeks, she closed that very difficult deal with an appraisal transfer and made her full commission on it. She made the full 1.5% because it was a lead that she paid for from her own leads plan that she got from us, and it was $1,056,000 loan, 1.5%. So you can do the math. It was almost $16,000 that she got on her first closing with the mortgage calculator. I mean, she got one of the most difficult deals that you could do, because it's a simple loan if you know how to do it. But if you don't know how to do it, it's not a simple loan for a newly minted LO in the non-QM world. But we walked her through the deal and helped her close it. No delays. Happy customer, happy MLO, happy closing. And those are the type of success stories that we continually have here at the Mortgage Calculator, helping MLOs reach their goals by giving them support. We're not gonna have you, hang you out to dry and tell you, don't you know how to do your job? as an MLO, right? That would be a terrible thing to say, but that's a lot of times what happens when MLOs go to companies and ask for support, ask for manuals, procedures, and they're just, they just looked at like, don't you know what you're doing? Well, obviously, if we're bringing you in and you're fresh to the business, to non-QM, we know you don't know what you're doing. That's why we have all of our systems in place, that Nick went over, Knowledge Center, Zoom Room, and all these other great support tools, plus the live support from your team leaders, from your sales manager, yours truly, and from the rest of management. So we're definitely here looking forward to having you all on board and producing much more than you're probably producing now. Thank you.
All right, great. So last thing here, then we'll open it up to questions. If you have questions, please drop them in the Q&A section there for us. But last thing we'll go over is the next steps. So when you're ready to come on board, you're going to sign up here. Again, everybody's going to come on the loan officer plan until you've taken the senior course, and then you can upgrade to the senior loan officer for experienced loan officers, right? So go ahead and sign up here. It's going to take you to fill out your information, and then it's going to pop right up to the compensation agreement to sign to join. Now, you don't need to sign it right then. Don't worry. It's going to email you a copy as well. So take your time, look it over. But once you are ready to move forward, when you sign that agreement, that's going to kick off all the next steps. So first step is to come here, sign that initial agreement. Then we reach out to get all of the next steps going, getting your ID documents, sponsoring your license, all that kind of good stuff. So it's themortgagecalculator.com/join as the website. And I'm going to put it here in the chat for everyone as well. So when you're ready to move forward, that is how to do so. So with that being said, I'll open it up to questions here. Please drop any questions you have there in the Q&A section. While I'm waiting for some questions to come in, I'll go over a few frequently asked questions. And actually, let me share my screen again. So the most frequently asked question at first is typically licensing, right? So these are the states that we are licensed in. All the green states is where we are licensed. Remember that we can also do the business purpose DSCR loans, which we love so much. A huge amount of our business is those. And we can do those in 21 additional states in addition to the 23 that we have here. Now, to join, you need at least one of these licenses that's in green, right? To come on board and to join our company, you have to have at least one license in a state that we're licensed in. If you have more than one license, that's fine, but we only sponsor 2 in the beginning. You don't need, a ton of licenses, especially because we're going to give you a lot of leads in those other states where you can do business purpose, without a license and stuff like that. So you need at least one license in one of these states. If you have more than one license, no problem. We could sponsor up to 2. And then once you become a senior loan officer, we can sponsor more for you there. So that is our license footprint here. And again, I'm on the join page that I sent you guys the link to. You can view employee reviews here. Another thing we're very proud of, we just won number 26 on the best places to work in the United States list. That's not mortgage companies, that's best companies to work for in the United States. Number 26 on the list this year. You can come here and check out the list there. So we're very proud of that as well. Now I see some questions coming in, so let's get to all of your questions. Oh, also W-2, we are all W-2. Unfortunately, we can't be 1099. I know some people like doing that, but for legal reasons, everyone has to be W-2.